So this is the LG Stylo 3 Plus versus the Alcatel A30. So before we begin, I want to tell you all to hit the bell icon to be notified of all of my future videos like this and others, because I've gotten a comment one time that said that they weren't notified of videos for 2 months. It's crazy. So I want to first talk about the specs. This is the LG Stylo 3 Plus, while this one is the Alcatel A30. So the LG Stylo 3 Plus has 2 GB of RAM, 32 GB of storage, plastic design, a 5.7-inch 1080p screen, a 13 megapixel camera and a 5 front camera, a 1.4 GHz octa-core Snapdragon 435 processor, 3080 mAh removable battery, micro USB quick charge support, included in the box too, so it's not like you have to buy a separate cable or anything like in the ZTE Blade Z Max. It has Android 7.1.1, up to a 256GB micro SD card insertable, fingerprint sensor, and NFC. Now, for the Alcatel A30, it has 2 GB of RAM, 32 GB of storage, which we see all the time. It also has a plastic design. It has a 5.5-inch 720p screen, 13 megapixel rear camera, 5 megapixel front camera, 1.5 GHz quad-core MTK6738 processor, so it's not a Snapdragon processor, which means this one's going to be a little bit slower. 3000 mAh battery, micro USB charger, not quick charge. Android 7.0, not 7.1.1, but 7.0. The SD card support up to 128GB of fingerprint sensor. Now, as for performance. So for the amount of time that I have been using both these devices, I have not noticed any slowdowns. They're both really fast, and you won't notice any slowdowns on the apps I've compared the two phones side by side. And the apps I have used all open up fast, and the cameras performed well and opened up fast and snapped pictures really quickly. So they both have rear fingerprint sensors, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up my Geekbench Scores on both of these. So as you can see, they both opened up pretty fast here, and as you can see, they're both going through. So this one, for some reason, has a lower multi-core score, but I really don't see that. Has a higher single-core score. So this is 632 and 2542, while the A30 has 650 and 1727. So, I don't know. They weren't running anything in the background. As you can see, I also am getting notifications on both. And they're both hooked up to the same network. So, they're both hooked up to the same Wi-Fi network, so there's no anything at all. So, it's really just going to be the same speed. I know this one looks like it has signal. This one just doesn't have any signal because I switched off the number for some... I don't even remember what I did exactly with the number, but I switched out the number or something like that. I don't know exactly, but other than that, it really doesn't have service, and I still am getting... so, screen-wise, and this is a topic, as you can see... I'm just going to go through. This one is about halfway. This one is on auto over here. I'm going to turn off auto, and we will load it up. This is about halfway. And as you can see, they're both very, very vibrant screens. So it is a make it or break it for some people. Either the screen is good or the screen is bad. And you may not want to buy the phone for some reason if the screen's bad. Like, I know for a fact I wouldn't want to buy a phone if the screen is bad. But for these two phones, there's no need to worry. The LG phone has a 1080p screen, the Alcatel has a 720p screen. Now they both have vibrant screens, but with the Stylo 3 Plus looking better, even though they are just as good as I think the Stylo has a better screen. They're both just as good though, because I'll watch a YouTube video on both of these screens. Even though this one's a little bigger, this one, in my opinion, is just as good. And even, I don't mind. It's only like a 0.2 difference, so I don't really see it. But the speakers, though, in my opinion, are different. This is a very different topic also. They do have different design speakers. This one's on the front while the LG is on the back. In terms of that, they both sound great, but I would choose a phone for its speaker. Of course I would. Even so, they're both just as good. It sounds louder outside or with friends. I would take this one, but if you want a speaker facing you, I would take the Alcatel A30. So it's really up to you what you want more in a speaker. I will play some YouTube test over here. As I am playing the speaker test, comment down below what you think of the speakers and which one you would choose down below. So let me just load up. Okay, now to this one. So, comment down below which one you think is better. As for design, that is also, there's so many different topics to a phone, and they both have two different designs. LG Stylo 3 Plus has its own brushed aluminum design, with it looking nice. The brushed aluminum, I'm gonna lock, make sure these both lock. The brushed aluminum, as you can see, looks nice. It feels nice. It feels metallic, even though it's plastic. The front bezels also look different. It has a blue color to it and also has a rear fingerprint and power button combo. And the front design, of course, is nice. The back of the phone is removable, allowing for the battery to be removed and also the SIM card and SD card slot. The bottom underneath on the bottom has a micro USB and the headphone jack and really nothing else. And then the right side has the volume up and down, while the Alcatel A30 is a cheaper feeling design. The back of the phone has a rubber dotted design. The rear fingerprint looks cheap, even though it's decent. And the front bezels look bigger than the Stylo 3 Plus because it has two metallic speaker grills. The top one being an earpiece, while the bottom one is a speaker. This makes the bezels look bigger than they are. The bottom of the phone has a micro USB port, while the top has the headphone jack. The back of the phone can be removed to expose the SIM card slots, but you can't remove the battery because there's a big warning telling you, caution, do not remove. But here's the headphone, here's the micro SD and the SIM card slot. And remember, you got to make sure everything on this phone is clicked in, including around this. And I really do think, because if you look, it's a little more raised than the other one, so I think it feels a little cheaper. And now for differences, there are differences with both phones. They both have different feel, different software. They both run a version of Android Nougat with Stylo Happen Plus of a newer version. The placement of the camera and fingerprint sensors on the back are almost the same. As you can see, they're practically in the same style, but the only difference is the LEDs. They're both like rectangle, whatever, oval, whatever, but one just has the one on the side and that way. And then the button placement is also different. So the placement of the placement of the cameras, the LG has a volume button on the left side, and the power and volume on, or the power and fingerprint on the back. The lock button on the back, and of course the Alcatel has the power and the volume on the right. Speaker has a weird look to it, but all Alcatel phones have the same sort of look. The micro USB port on the side is on the side of the left at the bottom, which is weird for a phone. Like over here on the right, actually, which is weird for a phone. Unless you're using a dock, plugging in the USB isn't going to get harder just because it's on the side. My LG Stylo 3 Plus is a stylus, which also has some of the Note 8 features. And I think it is a great Note 8 competitor. Like, you can draw. I was scribbling on here a while ago, and I mean, it's fun. Now, as for the battery, it's just another topic that changes from phone to phone. Everything changes from phone to phone. It's just battery is one of the biggest changes from phone to phone, because you live with your phone. It's not like, do you want to have to charge it halfway through a day or after like 3 hours of using it? No. Do you want to charge it after like maybe 7-8 hours of using it with screen on 7 hours? So the LG Stylo 3 Plus is a 3080 mAh battery, removable, while the Alcatel A30 is a non-removable 3000 mAh battery. The LG has a replaceable battery, which works with LG V20 batteries, which is nice if you want a cheap battery replacement or just a second battery. The phone is great since you can easily get through a day worth of battery, and if you need more, then you can just swap out the battery when needed. The Alcatel battery can easily get 1 day of use, but you can't swap out the battery, so you're limited to the battery inside of the phone, which really stinks, but I mean, just get over it, losers. There isn't much more to it. And cameras, so both cameras have the same specs. The A30's front camera having flash added to it, which is this right over here. And the back cameras take awesome pictures. So they're both 13 megapixels, and they both take awesome pictures. This one just looks like it's bigger sensor, but they're both the same size sensors. And they both look awesome. They take great pictures, and then they take 1080p videos with great image stabilization on both. And then the front cameras are both a little different. The Alcatel A30 has a worse camera than the Stylo 3 Plus, but that's just me. But I think it makes up for it with the the flash on the phone. Otherwise, it's okay. They both do 1080p front video, but they both look nice. So, with both phones being great, the LG Stylo 3 Plus and its removable battery and stylus, it is a better option. The feel of the LG phone is a little better, but they both look great. You may not like the look of the LG software, but I happen to like it better than the Alcatel. I think it looks more modern, though that if you're looking for a better media consumption phone, then go with Alcatel A30. Other than that, they're practically very similar. If you did like this video, please rate, comment, and hit the red subscribe button down below. Hit the bell icon too. As always, enjoy the rest of your day.